Hello, good evening. Tilde, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you.
Great, that's great. How are you? How's it going?
Good. Good. Everything's fine.
Great, that's great to know. So I'm going to turn on my camera now, but just in case I'm on a new laptop that, well, the processor and everything is not as good as the one that I have that is in the technician now, you're going to let me know if you have some problems in hearing what I'm saying because, again, sometimes it's going to be a little bit laggy or with some interference. And if that's the case, please let me know. All right?
Okay. All right.
Okay, good. So let's do it. Let's do what we have to do. We are going to cover just one lesson, that is this one. We have one more, and it's the one that is left, that is for tomorrow. So first we finish this, then we go to correct the paragraph that I told you yesterday, and
Okay.
we get to continue working on the essay that we started also yesterday. Okay?
Okay.
Good.
Um, I have one question. One question
Yeah.
about the one assignment. Um, Maybe I could show you a screenshot about that
Yes,
because
if you want, if you have it there, you can share your screen. I don't know if it's okay for you.
yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
I made a screenshot. I will open it. So, well, I'll send it anyway to the
Okay.
chat. But I could share my screen. So, so in this case, I wasn't sure how am I supposed to answer. Like, for example, in the first one, I mean, he may be innocent. Talia thinks so. So, or just I have to put he may be, and that's maybe the right answer. I shouldn't put it like in a complete sentence. I wasn't sure. Yeah.
All right. We have to check the instructions. I don't know if you remember what number of assignment it was in activity.
I do not remember, but I could.
Okay, we can go there. Actually,
Okay.
look for it. I'm going to do it as well. All right, let's do it quickly. Go look for the number. If you find it, let me know. I'm also going to
Mm-hmm.
look for that assignment because we're going to try to take a look at the instructions. And also I have access to the correct options we're going to see because just by seeing this, it seems to be correct, right? But we need to see the instructions and to see if we are missing something.
Okay. I found it. It's
So if you have it,
yeah,
yeah, what's the number?
module B, B2, bad news grammar models of possibility 2.
All right. Let me go there. Please give me a second. Inside grammar, do you know what number of exercise it is?
Maybe I could share my screen one more time.
Okay.
Uh, okay, I think I was sharing just the window.
Okay, so I'd see there. All right, the dialogues, right? Complete the sentences with the model parentheses, type the answers. You may need to use negative form. So, it's not giving a lot of clues for what you exactly have to do. Just models of possibility, right? Perhaps again, it's not, they are not clarifying, so perhaps we can retake it, because just by reading like that, um, yes, complete sentences with model in parentheses, with the model in parentheses. Okay, that's weird. Let me see what they were expecting, all right, you to write, and we're going to see if it makes sense. Because again, it seems to be good. It must be something that perhaps, again, is a little bit off. If it's too out of place, and I believe also that it shouldn't be like that, I believe that's going to be the case. We're going to reassign that section, just the grammar part, for that one, okay?
Okay.
That's a quiz, right? That's part of a quiz that you took. Is that correct?
No, it's not a quiz.
Or
It's
it's not a quiz, it's just an
no.
exercise, an
Yeah,
assignment.
assignment. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm going there. It's a little bit slow, but this is the one, right? Yes. Okay, give me just a second. All right, and as I'm finding this one to see what they were expecting you to write, I don't know if you have other questions or other concerns, Matilde. Let me know, please.
No, it was just that one.
All right. Okay, so yes, it's what I was, all right, what I thought. I'm going to actually, yeah, I'm going to share it in a second, but they were just expecting, and this is not clear here, to write short answers, it seems. All right, but
Okay.
it says complete the sentences, yes, and it says only, right, complete the sentences with the model in parentheses. So, for example, in the first one, it was just like, yes, he may be, all right, or he might be, but in this case, maybe. In the second one, I don't
Mm.
know what you had in the second one, but it's not in passive voice or with an adjective. It's only going to be might, for example, right? Do you think Talia will discover the truth? She's a good researcher, right? Period. She might.
Okay.
All right, so it seems that they were just expecting you to write the model, which again, it doesn't make sense, because what you did is also correct. So I believe that we're going to reassign this. You know how to complete it. You just have to decide when to use another verb, like the verb to be, or when to make it negative according to the context, and that's
Yeah.
basically it. All right, deciding if it is going to be negative, or if it is going to have one more verb because it needs it in that case. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to reassign that specific assignment. Yeah, tell me,
Yeah.
Matilde.
Just for example, in the third yeah option, th- this is a negative answer, so I should put like they might not or they might not lose.
Yes, just the model plus the negative verb. So it can be they might not or they may not according to what they ask you in the parentheses. Yes, but if you go to that exact
Okay.
example, it has to be model plus the negative that is not, and just that.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know. Again, these are not all right, very specific. They should clarify that they just want short, right, answers or short sentences. But again, that's it. All right, now I'm going to go to our lesson. Okay, good. There you go. Now, let's have a conversation about it as always. Matilde, what can you tell me about embedded questions? Or if you read it, what comes to your mind?
Mm, Better questions. Honestly, I can't recall
Yes, it's
anything about it.
yes, it's just like grammar terminology, right? So perhaps we don't have like something there, but I'm sure that you know this. For example, uh, again, you are abroad, right? You are in the United States, and you don't know, right, about the location of a specific place. Let's say that you want to go to the bathroom. How can you ask that question to a person that you don't know? And remember that you have to be polite, right? How can you ask that question in a polite way?
Um, like where could I find the restroom?
All right.
Or,
Yes, that's one possibility, correct? And try to make it from the beginning, right? Imagine you are next to someone. So how do you approach and how do you introduce that question without the sensation of asking that to, I don't know, right, straightforward? Just try to make it again, not going around, of course, but again, from the introduction, how would you do it?
I mean, um, where the restroom is, or mm,
Yes, we're getting there. What you're saying is good now, but we need to combine that again. And your question was great. I'm just trying to get to this point because
mhm.
what you said again is good, and this one is also good. These are only options. But embedded questions, all right, let me explain that briefly, is a question inside a question or a question inside a statement. All right. So when I say that, what type of questions then can you ask related to that? You don't know where the restroom, the bathroom is. What is the question that you can ask over there? Using
Like,
the using
sorry.
one question inside another question, or using one question inside a statement. How can you ask that type of question?
Like, I don't know where the bathroom is. Do you know where can I find it? Or
Uh-huh. Good. Yes. Yes. You're there. I know. You know the structure, and it's over there. Because what happens, right? What happens when you need to say set a question inside another question? Let's say that the direct question is, "Where's the restroom?" Right? Where's the restroom? What is the process that you followed to put that question inside a statement or inside another question? Because you did it, right? But let's try to
mm,
analyze. What did you do?
um, well, I made an affirmation about something. In this case, that I don't know where the bathroom is, and I've it's it followed a question to know where the bathroom where
But
could I find the bathroom? Yeah.
good. And even if you just stay in the first part is an embedded question. All right. I don't know where the bathroom is. That's an embedded question. Why? Because the question, where's the bathroom, is inside the statement, I don't know. All right. I don't know. So you are combining two things, and that's what you can call a clause. But you can also put it inside other questions. For example, this beginning, right? Could you tell me, or could you please tell me, right? Then you have the real question. Where's the bathroom? Or where's the restroom? How do you combine those two, Matilde? Could you please tell me, and where's the restroom? You have to make some changes.
I mean, combine them in
Huh?
the.
They are going to be actually, they are kind of the same. You just move one word, it's in a different place. Then the rest is just copy paste, copy paste.
Um, I mean, like, where is the bathroom or where the bathroom is?
Okay, yes, yes. The real question is where's the bathroom, right? How can
Yeah.
you combine that with the question or with the beginning of could you please tell
Hmm. Could you
It's in the
tell me
order.
where the
Uh-huh.
bathroom is?
Yes, okay. That again, it's obvious because you know that one, right? Because of practice and many things. And for you, it's like automatic. You're doing that. But what you're doing is what? You are changing, right, the order of just one word to make the question order into sentence order, right? Because that's the rule. If you want to set a question inside another question or inside a statement, you don't say, right, could you please tell me where is the bathroom? That's incorrect, right? You say where the bathroom is. Okay, that's obvious. With the verb to be, perhaps is over there. But what about this one? The same. The introduction, could you please tell me? And the real question or the direct question is, uh, does she, all right, does she like, um, I don't know, pasta? Okay, does she like pasta? That's the question. How do you combine those two?
Um, like, but combine it with
With the same beginning, could you please tell me?
okay. Could you please tell me? I mean, I'm thinking of if, but I don't know if that's
Good.
the
Do it in the way you feel natural. I'm sure
okay.
it's going to be okay.
Could you tell me if she likes pasta?
Yes, yes, that's the one. It's good. Could you please tell me if she likes pasta or whether or not she likes pasta? Right, good. Why? Because again, the only logic that I'm following here and that I want you to see, because you know this, is just to understand what's happening in terms of grammar. All right, just to justify and to be sure that every time you write it, you know why we're changing the words and so on. All right, again, the logic or first, before I get to the explanation, how can you explain now what embedded questions are? What are you doing? What's the process that you're following to combine two questions into one? What do you do with the main question? What happens with the orders? What happens with the auxiliary? What happens when it's a yes/no question? What words do you add if that's the case, and so on? So, what do you do?
Hmm. Well, like in the first example with the bathroom example, um, I have to change the order for the auxiliary to the end in order, yeah, to make sense to the question. And yeah, that's for the first one. And for the second one, I have to put the if part to combine the two, yeah, the two questions. Yeah, sorry, what else you asked?
Yes, and what happens in the second case? What you're saying is great. So far, it's good. What happens with the auxiliary in the second case? Right? For the direct question is, does she like pasta? But
Mm-hmm.
what happens with that there?
Like with the could you tell me?
You have
Yeah,
could you tell me?
yeah, I mean, I'm changing. I'm not longer using the, yeah, to
Mhm.
do. I mean, yeah,
Yes,
I'm
you're
not.
not using das. And where is that das going actually? It is going to the main verb of your direct question that is like. And now it is likes, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to change that to sentence order. And in sentence order, we only use auxiliary, negative, or in questions, also in affirmative, but when we want to put some emphasis, right? But that's not the case. So, yes, that's it. Okay. What we have to understand here is just that. Because again, if you get to work with the exercises on Pearson, we need to understand what we need to do when we have embedded questions as part of the instruction. All right. And again, it's just to also understand and analyze what we say, because as I can see, you use this, all right? You know how to do it, but we have to understand again the logic behind it, all right? So,
Okay.
good. That's great. Let's then read, please, the definition.
Okay. Sometimes we want to use a question as part of another question or a statement. This is called an embedded question.
Sorry, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. The first usage is a question inside another question, right? So let's read that. That's what it says. Read please the normal question and the indirect question, because it is also going to be called indirect question.
Okay. Normal question, where is the station? Indirect question, that includes an embedded question. Could you tell me where the station is?
Good, right? The same logic, and if you analyze what's happening, you can notice that, well, it's what you said, right? The order of the verb to be is not going to be question order. It's not going to be inverted. It's going to be sentence order, right? When it's subject, verb, complement. That's it. The second usage is the same, but this is also an embedded question, but it is in a statement. So let's do the same, please. Normal and embedded question, please.
Okay. Normal question, where does she work? Embedded question in a statement, I don't know where she works. Here where she works is the object.
Good. Right. And in this statement, then, your embedded question, your question becomes an object. And the same logic, right? Why don't we use an auxiliary? Because this is not a question anymore. This is a statement. And as a statement, an affirmative statement, we don't have to use the auxiliary, right? We just need to conjugate the verb as we learned from the very beginning. So very quickly, because we know this, let's remember the rules. If there's a question word, right? What is a question word, Matilde? What do you say? It's for information questions.
Like, I mean, question word like where, what?
Yes, WH words, right? The question words,
Yeah.
correct. So if you have them, you keep them, right? That's the first rule. Very easy, you know that. What happens if there is no question word is what you did, right? You have to use if or whether, right? The advantage of using whether is that you can use the or not expression at the end, right? Do you know if or whether or not she went to the party? Or do you know whether she went to the party or not? Right? So it gives you that option just to put emphasis on the idea. So yes or no. All right, that's the only thing. But both of them have the same meaning. Then what we said, we use normal sentence grammar rules, right? We don't need to use do, does, did, unless it is negative, right? Just if it's negative. We use normal sentence word order, subject, verb, complement, not inversions, right? This is important. If it's a question inside a question mark. If it's a question inside a statement, period. Right? That's obvious, but there can be a lot of mistakes with that. These are some words, actually verbs and expressions that you can use for embedded questions inside statements. So let's read please these examples, Matilde, from wonder to forget.
Okay. I wonder why she said that. No, they don't know what they're doing. Remember, we don't remember where the house is. Be sure, I'm not sure when we are going to arrive. Let's find out what time the show starts. She's thinking about how she's going to do it. I've forgotten why I started this.
Great, thank you. So we're following the rules. We are again applying those rules here, and that's it. All right. We have sentence order. We don't have auxiliaries if we don't need them. We use periods because we are working with statements. And we have the same just for, but you have more because you can use it with any question you want. But remember that your main question is always the second one. This is just the beginning, and it's usually something that again creates, all right, this ambience of politeness, because you want to express. Usually you use embedded questions when you want to be polite or kind. All right, that's going to be the main usage. So let's read these beginnings, please. These are questions. Let's just read the four of them.
Okay. Do you know? Could you tell me? Is it possible to know? Would you mind telling me?
All right, good. So just to practice, because we're going to be finishing here and we are going to go to our essay, let's have a couple of examples just here, all right? Telling me in this way. Pick, all right, two or three of them and give me any ideas that you want using embedded questions, Matilde. And this has the, well, these ones, they have to be your introduction for your embedded question. So what could
Okay.
it be?
Um, do you know? Um, do you know when the winter starts? In this case, starts, right?
Yes, if it's embedded question, it has to be
Yeah.
with the conjugation. Good. Yes, when the winter starts. Good. That's one. Let's keep going, please. At least two more.
Okay. Would you mind telling me? Would you mind telling me? Um, what this? Would you mind telling me what this object is for?
Okay. Yes. Good. That's the second one. Would you mind telling me what this object is for? Yes. One more, please. The last one.
Okay. Is it possible to know when when he's going to come back?
Yes. Yes. Perhaps the subject was not that clear. What's the subject in that idea? I couldn't hear it very well.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too. Is it possible to know when
Uh-huh.
he's coming back?
Yes, yes, and what you say is good. It's just that I
Mm.
didn't hear he, right? So your subject there is he. So good. Yes. Is it possible to know when he's going to come back, when he's coming back, when he will come back, right? Any of those is okay as long as you have the order and all the elements that we need for a complete sentence, right? So good. That's it. I just wanted again to, well, to see these, to understand those details, because again, we know this, but it's important to retain this information just in case we get to analyze or we get to use it with a different purpose, all right? But this is the formula, well, for yes no questions, and that's the down below, that's the formula for information questions. The only difference is the if or whether, right? And again, you know what's the condition. If it's a yes no question, it means you don't have a WH word, you have to use if or whether at the beginning. But if you have it, there's no need to do it. All right, so that's it. I don't know if you have questions. We're going to finish this lesson here and we're going to go to our practice with the essay. But let me know, please, Matilda. Do you have any question just in case?
No, no, I don't think so.
All
It's
right,
good.
good. So let's do something. As you are going to be let me share this with you. The first practice, I think I made a mistake. Yes, this is not the one. Give me one second, please. This is ours. This is not. Okay, so I'm going to share the document in which you were correcting the punctuation marks, and you were coloring or highlighting the complete sentences that you can find. Remember, we have just one
Mhm.
paragraph left. That is what we are going to do now.
Okay.
So I'm sharing um, the link with you. Okay, it is in the chat. Now let's
Okay.
go over there, please, and do it. You're going to finish. Perhaps the limit is going to be, I'm going to see the time is in this case. It's 49 until 52, 53. If you finish before, let me know. But oh, well, actually, it's going to be a little bit more because I need you to do the following. Set the punctuation
Mhm.
marks, okay, where they belong. Um, Try to highlight with different colors the complete sentences that you find. Okay, remember that you have three types of sentences, right? Simple, complex, compound. Try to identify. You don't need to tell me what type it is, but try to identify complete sentences. And also, please, if you find transitional words or phrases, like however, nonetheless, or words that are connecting ideas, you can use the bold letter for that one, as I was doing
Mhm.
here. Okay, just you can have questions before starting with that one. Let me know, please.
No, I don't think so. It's okay.
Okay, good. So in the meantime, please, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to go to Pearson to reassign that assignment. All right. And yes, in order not to, all right, affect this, because again, it can be slower. So let's do it, please. And we check
Okay.
again in 4 or 5 minutes, or you let me
Okay.
know if you finish before. Good. All right. So let's see how you're doing. Actually, let me check. I reassigned that. All right, the second assignment for models of possibility, so you can
Okay.
complete it when you have the time.
Okay.
Okay, good. So, are you ready to check this? Let me know, please, Matilde.
Yes, almost ready. I have to put in bold. Yes, just one question. I have to bold the transitional words,
Yes,
right?
words and phrases. If you consider that some of them are words or phrases that work as transitional words or phrases, you have to do it. If not, that's okay. Just those ones.
Okay.
All right. So let's read, please. Let's read everything, and we're going to feel also with the punctuation if it feels good, if it feels natural, and according to that, also we're going to see if that was the right thing to do. So let's read, please.
Okay. On top of that, it has to be acknowledged that one has an advantage, professionally speaking, when possessing a broad amount of knowledge. In today's workplace, exemplifying, it's enough mentioning that a person who has knowledge of many subjects is more likely to get promoted, as this person is able to do a better job by merging all that knowledge into great ideas. Never was I more flabbergasted than the day that my partner was promoted to manager, for he had some knowledge of something that was our boss' interest.
Thank you very much. Good. I believe that it's great. And in the first part, well, you have something interesting there because it can be done in two ways, but in the way that you did it and with the punctuation that you have there, it's great. All right. In the document, all right, let's say the official document that has all the punctuation rules, the first idea is until workplace. But in the way that you're doing this, it's also valid because, again, as I told you, if you use the right punctuation and if you change the words in a good way, it's possible because it makes sense. So it's correct. All right. The way
Yeah.
again we have in the document is the amount of knowledge in today's workplace. Period. Exemplifying, comma, it is enough. Here it will be to mention, right, that a person, blah 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 blah. So in both cases it works because in both cases to say in today's workplace feels natural, right? It doesn't feel like off or something is not going on. There, it feels good. So I have no observations, I believe, in this one, as this person is able to. Yes. I don't know if you have questions because with this now we can continue working on your essay. I'm going to give you some ideas or some parameters that you can be using for continuing with that one. But I don't know if you have questions before going there.
No, I was actually wondering, I mean, the transitional words um, is just on the top of that, and this other, like, I'm not sure if exemplifying it's one of them,
Yes,
or never was I more flabbergasted.
yeah, that one is not going to be.
Yeah.
Usually transitional words they follow one rule, but we can have exceptions, all right? But the rule is that before the transitional word, you usually have a period or a semicolon, or it is at the beginning of a new paragraph, and it's followed by a comma. You have some exceptions, but I would say that 90 or 95% of the transitional words have that structure. Or what you did with exemplifying, but the correct order would be always at no, not the correct order, but the expected order would be at the beginning of your sentence, right? For example, exemplifying, comma, it is enough to mention that a person who has blah 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 blah, and in today's workplace can be at the end because because that's the right place for time, right? Time and place and time at the end, and these transitional words at the beginning. Why? Because they are giving the clue, the main information, actually, not just a clue, the main information for what's your purpose with the following idea that you are going to write. Okay, but yes, those are the ones. And if you find this structure, period, semicolon, word or phrase, comma, and complete sentence, then that's a 95%. It is going to be a transitional word, all right, or phrase. So good. Yes, in that case, those are the only ones. Never was I more flabbergasted than the day, pam, pam, pam. That's just like a, we can call it a clause, a non-clause or a clause that it's working as an introduction in this case, but it's not exactly a transitional word. All right, so
All right.
let's now work on the first paragraph. You have your introduction. Now you have to continue working, please, after that introduction with the first paragraph. So what do we have just by scanning it? Because you already analyzed this one. What can you give me in the first paragraph, Matilde, just by following this model? What do you say, generally speaking?
I'm sorry. I mean, what could I mean,
Yes, what is it expected from you to write in the first paragraph? As you see this
okay.
model and as you understand that this is a possible model for the TOEFL,
Mhm.
what is that you see here? What is this person showing as part of the explanation or as part of the supporting idea or ideas that he or well she is using for this mainly, right? Remember that the last thing
Mhm.
that you mentioned is your decision. In this case, it is better to have broad knowledge of many academic subjects. What is he saying, or what is this person saying about that in the first paragraph? What do you say?
Okay, so this person is explaining one of the reasons to support the decision that, yeah, he or she uh, took. So it's better to have a broad knowledge of many academic subjects, and this is the first reason. And after that, he's or she's explaining why and something that support that statement, and also put in some it's not background, but what's the word, yeah, something that supports this idea that, yeah, uh, maybe quotation or use other, um, yeah, I forgot a word for that, resources for supporting the idea.
Great, thank you very much. Yes, you got it, right? Again, remember that we are perhaps not learning, but we are reinforcing, and yes, we can say learning some details about a very formal structure for an essay, right? That we started some days ago, weeks ago, and this that is not as formal, but it is actually expected that you write something like this in this question for the TOEFL. All right, because here you don't have to work with citations, you don't work with quotations, you don't work with anybody else's saying. It's just you and what you believe about it. All right, but you can use the structure that we are learning aside from this one when you get to have extra information and you have someone else's words. For example, in the task we're writing, in which you have to listen to a lecturer and you have to read an article about the environment, and the lecturer is saying yes, that's a good idea, and the article says no, it's not a good idea, then in that case you can use the formal structure, right? Because you can say, and this professor said this, pam, 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 quotation marks, but the article states the following. So you need to play right with the positions, going for or going against that one. But in this case, you don't have that, right? So in this specific essay, I'm going to give you I'm explaining this because we need to understand the difference. Here, you don't need to go against anything. You are just going to say many, many things to show why your option is the best. All right, and how you can prove that. You're not going to use, just to finish, please, citations here. We don't need to use them. We just can mention lifetime experiences. We can mention things in a general way. We can talk about facts, but just again in an informal way. You don't need to be too specific about them. All right, because again, it needs to be more personal. That's it. I don't know if you have questions before now. You have the time to write or at least begin with the first paragraph. Let me know, please.
Um, yeah, it's clear. Yeah, it's clear
Okay,
now.
so let's, great. If you get to have questions, please let me know. Let's go to the document, okay, to our document. Let me know when you're there and when you are ready to start. I believe you're already there, so let me know, please, when you're ready.
Um, yeah, to the document. I think I haven't opened.
All right, if not, let's go, please, there. Let's open it. I'm
Okay,
going to try to share the link.
I'm there.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
there.
you're here.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's continue, please. You have your introduction. Down below that introduction, let's work on this first paragraph. All right. So it's 10:08. Let's have 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, okay, whatever you get to write, we check. And then the last minutes, we spend them just by giving you some feedback and finishing the class. All right. Good.
Okay.
Let's have, please, 10:13, 10:14 tops, and we check.
Okay.
All right, so let's try to polish the last details
Okay.
and we take a look at what you got. So I'm going there. Where are you? You're here. Okay, so finish those last things, please, and let's read from the introduction until the part that you have for the first paragraph, and we're going to continue again tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, first of all, the amount of money that you will use for your trip can be better optimized if you're traveling with friends. For example, if you're staying at a hotel, you could share rooms, and therefore the cost for each person will be significantly lower. On top of that, if you want to participate in a touristic activity, there are always promotions for groups.
Great, great. I believe it's great, and you're doing something interesting. You're using therefore in this case as a transitional word, but in the sense of an interrupting a phrase. We can call that a phrase or a word. All right. And that's why we don't need to use semicolon or period, that it's the requirement for therefore, right? But only one observation there. Remember that here you have then two complete sentences divided by a fanboy. I believe that's going to be my only observation, right? Why? Because you have here, if you are right staying at a hotel, you could share rooms and the cost of, so you could share rooms, that's one complete sentence, and the cost of each person will be, right, that's another complete sentence. It means that here we need this comma. All right, so this is the obligatory comma, and this is commas for the interrupter. And what's the interrupter? Therefore. All right, so
Mm.
that's why here we need the two commas. Now, you have here actually one more option, but this is up to you. We didn't read that part yet. We're going to read it tomorrow. When to use a semicolon. All right, there's one usage for the semicolon. I think we did, but we didn't finish. One use for the semicolon is that when you have a fanboy, right, a coordinating conjunction, and you have commas before and commas after that fanboy, you can use a semicolon. All right. So the correct thing to do here is a comma. But because we have too many commas and it not just it feels, it can create confusion. The recommendation, and this is grammatically speaking, you can use a semicolon with the fan. All right. Because again, here you have one comma, two commas. Here you have one comma, two commas, and not because you want it, it's because you need them, right? So that would be my correction. But you can keep with the comma over there, but with the thing that it can create confusion, but it is correct. Okay, but that's it. Everything else is great. I think we're doing good. We're going to continue working on this paragraph, perhaps some last details, or you're going to try to extend that a little bit more because
Yeah.
it has to feel strong, right? But that's
Yeah.
it. I don't know if you have questions to finish now, Matilde.
No, no, I don't think so. It's okay.
Okay, good. Now, also, I need to do some things regarding the, well, not the connection, but in this case, let's say the hardware of this computer. So, how was in general the interaction? I mean, in terms of were you able to hear everything I was saying? Were there some interruptions? It was lagging or something like that? Let me know, please, if you had problems by, well, hearing what I was saying.
No, not really. I could hear very well, I would say.
All right,
Yeah.
not any technical problems or laggy or something like that?
No, no, I don't think so.
Okay, good. That's it
Yeah.
then. Let me share thank you very much, the poll, the daily survey. You have it over there. And that's it. Tomorrow we have the last class for this course. I mean, we have to start the next one on a Thursday. All right?
Yeah.
So have a good night and see you tomorrow.
Okay. You too. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.